Straight to the finish. Oh my God. Unbelievable.
Did that fight play out how you thought it was going to? Was the game plan just put him on the back foot, pressure him?
You know, I thought I was going to be leaving with a concussion, but I feel relatively fine other than a few, bumps and bruises. Yeah, no, I mean, the game plan was a wrestle, you guys. We wrestled all camp, but, when you're a little autistic, you just kind of do what you do.
Lots of people are saying that Israel himself looks kind of off tonight. Do you think he was off, or do you think you made him look off by your style?
I think I'm one of the best strikers in the world. Anytime you're doing the man dance, you're one punch away from being knocked out. But I could spar with any world champion boxer and get the better of him. So I don't know, man. I just think I'm one of the best strikers in the world.
You nearly had him out of there.
Yeah. Well, let me just say this. I watched him fight Kelvin, and he was like, "Oh, you don't have a chin like Kelvin. You might have his cardio, but I'm like, chin like Kelvin, motherfucker." Last time I sparred Kelvin, the coach jumped in and made a stop. Like you have no fucking idea. Like I've seen the guys you beat, and you should see me spar the guys you beat, motherfucker. No idea. So it was just kind of I just think sometimes I run my mouth so much that people forget that I know how to fight.
Dana says that they'd like to do the rematch. Is that something you're open to? I mean,
here's the thing, you guys. Well, I haven't learned anything about the UFC. Since when do you have a fucking choice of who you fight? The UFC never comes up to you and says, "Hey, Sean, would you like to fight this guy? Would you like to fight this guy?" The UFC says, "Hey, you're fighting this guy, fight this guy." So at the end of the day, I'm the champion, so fucking line him up, I'll knock him down or get knocked down.
How do you rate your own performance, right? Do you think, because look, the game plan was to wrestle, you didn't. You had that in the back pocket that you could have gone to if you wanted to. So that means if in the rematch, do you think you just do the same thing again? Or is it you're going to prove that actually I can beat Israel in any way?
I mean, I would like to wrestle one fight just so people know I can wrestle. Because I keep telling these fucking guys I can wrestle, but I never do it. So maybe one fight I'll wrestle just so people are like, "Oh yeah, Sean can wrestle. He does know what a takedown is." So maybe one day.
Do you feel like that Islam rematch might be the perfect UFC 300 fight, champion versus champion? That just seems like it's kind of written in the stars a little bit.
I mean, I think so. You know what I mean? I think that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, for sure. I think that'd be great, especially with me getting my hand raised on that one for UFC 300 would be perfect. But again, we'll see what we can do. But I think that's one of the bigger fights that you can make. I truly do believe that. A lot of people want to see it again. It's very, very competitive, and yeah, I guarantee you I get it done next time.
And you always mention, you want to see these featherweights do work and people show you something. Has there been anyone recently or anyone that you're seeing right now outside of Ilya that's doing anything that's impressive? I
mean, there's a very, very, stacked division. There's a lot of good talent in there, but I guess there's no one really knocking on the door right now except for Ilya. So, and I want that one, you know what I mean? There's probably been other people that have done more work to get a title shot, but we're starting to run out of guys. So, and then he's on a tear. He's undefeated. He likes to talk. He's got a big following over there in Spain and Europe. So people want to see it, and I want to see it. I can't wait to take that zero.
Alex, obviously Ilya seems to be next, right? But do you think there'll ever be a point where you kind of run out of people in the division, you almost outgrown it and you'll just have to move up to lightweight properly?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're having conversations. I want to be active, I do want to do the whole 2-division, keep busy thing. It is tricky, but yeah, I mean, there's so many good fights at lightweight as well. So, there's so many, and it's such a stacked division. So maybe it can keep me busy enough if there's nothing at featherweight. But I mean, who knows? In a few months, there could be someone else knocking on the door, and I'm going to want to stay for that because whatever excites me, I'll be there for it. Again, I want to do as well as I can. I want to leave a legacy behind. I'm obviously pound for pound being champ, defending multiple times. I wouldn't mind defending a few more. But again, it's got to be the right fights. Right now, it's I'm trying to just toss things together. What do I want? Do I want to hit that many defenses, or do I want to just, while I'm in my prime, do I just want to get the biggest and best fights I can, get that second belt, you fight lightweight, you know what I mean? There's a lot of options for me, which is a good thing. But we'll just see what happens, see what plays out.
And Carlos, just over here, with the title picture at light heavyweight and the top of the division being somewhat open, does that add any extra motivation to you that, you know, with a couple of wins, you could very quickly insert yourself into the title picture? And I'd argue it's one of the best times to be an up-and-coming light heavyweight.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the light heavyweight division is scarce. I mean, it's you don't have one predominant person in that division. And right now I see that Dominic Reyes is in a position where top 15 where I can get that. I can grab that off him. But he's a name and he's not somebody, I mean, you've seen him. He's the last fights that he's lost to have been guys who have been champions now. So with that, I think that's a guy for me to test myself. He's been in there 5 rounds with the GOAT. He's held the belt himself. He knows, and I think he's had a bit of time off for himself. So I think me getting in there would be a perfect time for me to grab that. And I think he's going to be the perfect person to test my abilities. And with that said as well, I think this is what the people want, and this is what everyone wants to see is myself and Dominic Reyes. He's a big opponent.
And you talked about your next fight being Dominic Reyes. I want to propose an alternative where you fight Robert Whittaker for the undisputed Musashi spokesman.
Yeah, right. Musashi need to help me out. I bought my Musashi sponsor here, Jeremy, who's a New Zealand representative, who's been with me for a long time, and yeah, I brought him over to just to see how it all goes, and hopefully we break into something bigger for Musashi.
Well, congratulations again.
Thank you so much.
And Bobby Green is scheduled to face Grant Dawson in October. Would that be a fight that you'd be interested in running back, depending on how that one plays out?
Yes, for sure. Because when I fought Bobby Green, there are no excuses. First of all, I don't like to make excuses, talk about injuries. It's my responsibility to go into the cage 100%. But the reality is, I was handicapped, you know. My foot was broken, my hand was damaged. Against a guy like Bobby Green, you need to be more than 100% with a good game plan, be focused. I went 15 minutes with the guy who finished legends like Tony Ferguson. And of course, I want to run it back, but it's unlikely in the UFC to have rematches. Maybe in the future, let's see who wins. Maybe Grant Dawson, he wins. Of course, I'm aiming for the top 15. Step by step, I'm going to take my shots and attack the top of the division.
Obviously, there's a big fight coming up between Charles Oliveira and Islam Makhachev. I just wanted to get your thoughts on the fight and who do you think wins?
Man, I think Islam is really like pound for pound #1. I think he's going to show his class. I train with Islam. He's a good friend of mine. We trained in Las Vegas 2 years ago. He's a great guy. I love him. And he's a different level. He gonna destroy Charles Oliveira and hopefully get the pound for pound #1.